Hey, welcome to episode 2, and today we're going to talk about some of the groups of people that don't have to jump through just as many hoops as the people we were talking about yesterday when it comes to getting citizenship in Ireland and living here full time. If you haven't watched the first video in the series, I definitely would recommend you go back and do that first. It just brings you through a lot of the reality checks that you need before you start down a path of moving to Ireland full time. So let's get started. Okay, so the first group of people that have less hoops to jump through when it comes to getting citizenship in Ireland, or I suppose living in Ireland full time, because that's more the point, are UK citizens. So there are no limitations when it comes to who can stay here full time. Even post-Brexit, there aren't limitations. There is a free travel zone between the two countries. So just keep that in mind, that if you are a UK citizen, you still, even after Brexit, have the opportunity to live here full time if you want to. The second group that has, again, very few hoops to jump through when it comes to living here full time are EU citizens. So again, it's very much kind of the same boat as the UK thing. It just means that you're within this free travel zone that we all have, and you can move around between the countries with a lot more ease than people who are outside the bloc. So those two groups, definitely you guys are going to have the easiest time when it comes to moving here. So what do you do if you live outside of Europe and outside of the UK? Well, that's the question, isn't it? So if you live in any other country in the world outside of Europe and the UK, and one of your parents or one of your grandparents was born in Ireland or was an Irish citizen, you actually can apply to become an Irish citizen yourself through a thing called descent. And what it basically means is that you've got close enough ties to the island of Ireland, you've family connections there, and it doesn't go back to like great-great-grandparents, great-great-great-great-grandparents, cousins, anything like that. It's very much your parents and your grandparents that you're looking at. But this is a really, really big thing, because a lot of people don't really realise that it knocks out this huge amount of the process of applying to become a citizen if you have a grandparent that was born in Ireland. Like, this is going back a long time. If you think of how long it was ago that your grandparents were born, even if they came to America, let's say, when they were 5 or when they were 10, like, this is a long time ago, and you mightn't even think that it stretches back that far, the permissions to give you citizenship, but it does. So it's really, really worth looking into that. Another thing you need to keep in mind as well is that, look, citizenship by descent is quite a common thing in a lot of countries. So even if your Irish lineage doesn't go back to where you need it to, let's say it's like maybe your great-great-grandfather came from Ireland, or maybe your second cousin came from Ireland. If your partner, your husband or whatever, maybe has the same type of lineage from another European country, there's every chance that you could just apply the same way as you would in Ireland for citizenship in one of those countries. And by becoming a citizen in, let's say, maybe Spain or somewhere like that, you actually would have access to that free travel that all of our European citizens have access to, which would in turn get you to a stage that you could live in Ireland. So it's not just about having an Irish granddad or having an Irish mammy. There are options that you can look into other than that. I mean, there are a lot of countries in Europe, a huge amount of emigration happened from there. Huge amounts of American people have lineage that comes from Europe. So even Australians as well, of course, this is a huge thing. So don't just look at the Irish lineage, look at other European lineage that you might have. And there might be a way, in a kind of a roundabout way, of getting yourself European citizenship, which would in turn factor in a way for you to actually move to Ireland full time. So tomorrow we're going to talk about how you can finance your move to Ireland if you're living in another country. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of mortgages and stuff like that, what options you have, what options Ireland gives you as opposed to doing it in your own country. So don't forget to come back tomorrow. I'm making sure that the 3 videos in these series go up one day after the other, because I feel like you guys need this information quite close together so that you can kind of just process it all and then just move on and start deciding what you want to do. So tomorrow we are going to do finance, and in the meantime, don't forget, click the button below, say you like it, support the channel, and you get way more videos. Sure, it's a win-win really, isn't it?